Morning all. This is the second webinar in this series, and it's to explain Inspiring Scotland and the pro bono services, and more importantly what pro bono is and what pro bono is not. The picture on the front is a picture of me on my second day in the job, and I went through to Glasgow and I met the ladies who run the Julie Peace Club in Castlemilk, and that's me in the middle, and Kathy, who set up the charity, and Tracy, the operations manager. Now, when I went through over a year ago, and as I say, this is my day 2 visit, they didn't use any pro bono at all, and over the year and very quickly actually I built up quite a relationship, especially with Tracy, because she realised that as she was trying to build the Julie Peace Club, there was external resources that she needed, and it would be great help to her. So now Tracy has a mentor through our pro bono scheme, and that lady is helping her away for her from her organisation as kind of a sounding board, with helping her with her role and how the growth of the Julie Peace is panning out, and how she can approach that and deal with some of the challenges. They've also requested help with SAGE, which is a management accounting system. They've had HR support, quite a lot of HR support. One of the things that we find is that as organisations are growing, HR can become a little bit problematic, and a number of organisations are not large enough to have a third-party supplier, so they come to us, and at the moment I have a fair amount of HR support across the country. They also needed some data protection advice, and then they were having a real problem with VAT. So again, Tracy just got on the phone to me and said, could I help? And I said yes I could, because I have a great resource based in Glasgow actually, who knows all the ins and outs of VAT. So I've now convinced the girls, the Julie Peace, that pro bono at Inspiring Scotland is actually a resource which is very, very useful to them, and adds a huge amount of value. It takes away all the annoyances in running a business, and lets them focus on delivering to their the young people and the young kids actually that they're dealing with, and they've got a lot of them. It's a very successful charity. Just a little bit of background about who we are. There's a number of funds that have access to pro bono. There's actually 7 funds, and then we have 2 consultancy projects. And we're working with over 214 charities, so not just the charities in your portfolio, but other charities. And that 214 number is a bit like in Harry Potter. It's like a magic number. It keeps going up because there's a couple of funds where we actually aren't entirely sure as to how many other charities might be joining. So there's an awful lot of charities and organisations throughout Scotland, and we mentor and support the organisations through the performance advisor role and then also pro bono. You in your individual portfolios will be very aware of how the performance advisor role works, because you have your assigned performance advisor, be it Debbie, Ashley, Catherine, Rachel or Susan. You've got that performance advisor, and through them or coming directly to me you would have access to pro bono. And obviously I'm running the pro bono initiative here, and I'm a big fan, and I can see how it can deliver and how it can help you on a daily basis. Just a little bit about the actual pro bono program. We've got 280 experts in the pool at the moment, and they are volunteers who are giving their professional business skill sets for free, and that's basically what pro bono is. So I have a number of lawyers, some social media people, HR people I've already mentioned, property. So they're all working 9-to-5 jobs, or they might be working for themselves in a consultancy role. Sometimes they're retired, but they are giving of their professional skill sets for free. They don't do things like coming in and painting. They don't build paths, etc., etc. They are giving of their professional skills. And the year to March 2016, as you can see, there was nearly 2,000 hours of pro bono work delivered, and a very, very, very low estimate of the value of that was £327,000, and that was just in the year to March, which I think is absolutely incredible. The benefits to you, I mean, you can read the slide, but you are all really, really busy, and getting in a professional expert to give you advice on a particular problem frees up your time to get back to delivering your service. And again, your resources are finite, so you don't have the money to go and get an expert to solve your HR problem or to get some legal advice. So usually you can get quality advice or support at no cost or very low cost. Again, I would use the legal example. If you have employment law issues, for instance, it could be that the initial advice is at no cost, but if that is going towards an industrial tribunal or whatever, then there would be a cost, but again it would be at a discounted rate. I also think that, and I've seen this in practice as well, that it's actually fantastic to have someone to come in and give you the benefit of their perspective from the outside, because sometimes if you're working away at the coal face, it's different, it's very difficult to see different options, etc. And they're not coming in as the know-it-all suit. They're very much on side. They've signed up to help organisations in the third sector, and particularly organisations working with Inspiring Scotland. So they're not coming in to dictate, they're coming in to give back, and they're coming in to listen to you and to help you with what you want to achieve, and that's very important. I don't have any prima donnas in my pro bono pool. Just a couple of pictures here. These are guys from Luma IT. Now they're one of the organisations that help with IT problems or networking problems in the third sector. They do charge, but it's a very, very low rate. So if you've inherited systems that don't speak to one another, or you've got issues, then Luma IT, although they're very stretched, they will come and try their best to help. But as I say, they do charge. Another example here, Calendar Youth Project is one of the charities within our 1419 portfolio, and Chris there, the one without the jacket, is the CEO of that organisation, and he took it from a little cafe in Calendar, and now he's running a 5-star youth hostel, very successful, and he's got a very sustainable income stream coming from that youth hostel. The other chap in the suit but without the tie is Rory Malcolm. He's a retired tourism consultant, and without his help Chris wouldn't have such a successful youth hostel. And Rory has become so attached to the youth hostel that he pops in on a regular basis, sometimes to stay overnight, and he knows all the young people there as well. So that's a great relationship which delivered massive value to Chris and to Calendar Youth Project and all the young people working with him there. I just thought it might be useful to suggest the sort of things that you can do. Again, I'll let you read that slide. Photography, VAT advice I've mentioned already. I would just go to the bottom right with trustee appointments. A lot of pro bono is for short times of, so it's a short ask. It's, can you help with my HR problem? Can you help with someone look at this lease? So someone will do that and it'll be a couple of hours work, or it might be a couple of hours one week, and then 2 weeks down the road they have to look at something again. The difference being with some things like trustee appointments or mentoring or coaching, that's a longer term relationship, and that's more of a commitment from the pro bono person who is wanting to go onto the board or wanting to go onto an advisory group, or who is keen to mentor a member of senior management and just give them that breathing space or give them that sounding board. So sometimes the pro bono support can be very short. It can be delivered via email, it can be delivered via a phone call. Sometimes the pro bono supporter will actually come and visit you and spend a bit of time with you. What they can't do though is, because they are working 9 to 5, so you're not getting another member of staff 1 day a week or even 1 day a month. That's simply not possible. No organisation is as generous as that with time off for employees. Equally, if you're a consultant running your own business, you have to get the balance right between the work that you're doing to pay your bills and build your business, and then the work that you're wanting to do for for nothing on the side. And again, retired people as well, it's not an infinite resource, because usually if they're retired, their wives have got a list of things that they want them to do, so it's not an unlimited amount of time that they can give. I would also stress that although I've tried really hard in the year that I've been here to cover all geographies, there are limits to that. We have organisations that are as far away as Stornoway, and obviously we've got quite a concentration in Edinburgh and Glasgow, which I've got fairly well covered with pro bono, and because I'm from Dundee, I've managed to build a little bit of a pro bono support in Dundee and Fife, Perth and up to Aberdeen, but in no way can I do all geographies. But some requests don't actually need a person to be in the local community. You can do it, as I say, via email or over the phone. There are other things that I can't do pro bono. I can't do anything to do with pensions. Anything to do with that would need to be outsourced to some professional advisor, an IFA. I have been asked for that in the past. I can't do fundraising. We're a charity ourselves. We're reliant on the Scottish Government for our funding. I do not have anyone who can do pro bono fundraising for you, although I have a collection of other resources and free e-learning and things that I can link you up with. I already mentioned that we don't do painting and fencings or building paths, and definitely I would stress again, it's not a source of a free member of staff for a day a month or anything like that. And also equally, there is not a commitment for any particular prescribed number of hours per week. So I should probably just give you an example. Last week, not last week, but on the 2nd of August I did a webinar and I got a really good response and an immediate response for some of the charities on the line. PAMIS was one of those charities. They were having a week of events in Dundee, which was last week actually, and they wanted a professional photographer. So they called me up after the webinar and I said, yep, I think I can probably do that. I phoned Malcolm Cochrane, who does most of our photography here, and he said, yeah, he would love to help. He looked at the programme and he came back to me and I said he thought that Friday would be the best day for him to go up, because there was a lot of activities and there was the chance that people might be outside, and he thought that that would be better for professional photography. So that happened. He went up last Friday, spent the whole day, most of the day up there, and he's got some amazing photographs. He's such a professional, and the ladies there were absolutely delighted to have his expertise, and they now have a great data bank, if you like, of wonderful, wonderful pictures of some very severely disabled people. But Malcolm's got some of them laughing and stretching up to the leaves on the trees and things. It's just incredible. So it works, and it can work really, really quickly. One of the other things that I do as well is that there's a lot of resource within Inspiring Scotland across all of these different portfolios, and because I'm seeing across all of those different portfolios, it's quite easy for me to share resources. So you might be experiencing something that someone else in either your own portfolio or another portfolio has already solved, and it's quite easy then just to share that resource. So as I mentioned earlier, 280 people on the pro bono supporters list. I do not have 280 requests active at any one time. So within the provisos that I've listed today about the geography and also what pro bono doesn't do, I would urge you to have a look at the presentation and the sort of support that you can and expertise that you can access, and get back to me. I am usually very easy to get hold of. You can email me, you can phone me, you can come through your performance advisor. I'm happy to take all requests, and I'll be able to fairly quickly tell you whether I can do it or not, or as in the case of the photographer for PAMAS, I said leave it with me and I'll get back to you, and as I say, I managed to get that one turned around in a couple of days and the ladies there were delighted. Anyway, I'll stop there.